Hi, everyone. Michelle Melendez, Blossom Inner Wellness and Stand Together Hawaii.com. This is for the inner circle. I'm really excited about this talk. I did this presentation many years ago, and thank God I still have it on my computer because it'll actually show you the power that's in our body, the actual geometric shape of the frequency of how you manifest things and how powerful we are. And the reason why the system, the media always wants to keep people in fear and in scarcity and in lack is because of the power we have, especially as a group. When we come together under the same frequency, it's really powerful. We absolutely do make a difference. So I want to show you guys the actual science that's inside of your body about how you manifest things. And the physicist that discovered this is Nassim Haramein, and I believed I think he was on Kauai, but I believe also he was on here on Big Island too before. But this is going to share with you the how we are actually connected to the entire universe, and it's pretty amazing. So the first thing I want to share is that there's a pattern in every cell of your body that is the same geometric pattern that's in the empty space that's around you. So this is not empty space. If you were to actually take the most magnificent microscope and you were to look at space, you would actually see light. And that's the exact same thing that's in your body, in the cells of your body. So the depth, and I want you to understand, it's hard for us to understand when we're in a human body and we feel like this body's got like a boundary, it's got skin, and then I'm sitting on a chair that has a boundary and a press, pushing on the armchair, and I can feel the solidness of it. But here's what we have to understand when we're looking at this on a quantum level is that your body has 50 to 100 trillion cells in it. And each cell, there are 100 trillion atoms. So this is like one cell. And inside each one of these, this is an atom. These are the protons. And the protons are what's really, really important here. Because inside every single proton, there's what's called the Planck. It's called a Planck scale. And the Planck is so small. They at first, when they had, way back when they had a really powerful microscope, and they thought that it was the quartz, which was a very small um, element inside of a proton. But they actually went even deeper than that, and they found the a Planck scale. And this was named after this guy named Planck. I can't remember his first name offhand, but this is inside of the proton. So here's one proton, and inside the proton, there are tons and tons of Plancks. And a Planck looks like geometric shape is the flower of life. That's actually what it looks like. And if you see it, it actually is 7 circles connected together, and it just keeps going. These circles keep going. And this is why everything in the entire universe is touching on this geometric shape. And it's the flower of life that is connected to everything. This empty space, my body, this chair, your body, everything is connected. And it's really challenging for us to grab, and I should just say me, to grab my head around this, because if you were to make one atom the size of the dome of the Vatican, and actually it's the other way around. I got that side's incorrect, because if you were to make a proton, the inside the proton there, it's so vast, and it's hard for us to grab this because we have boundaries, and we can't fathom the distance of these Plancks and how small they are. But if you were to grow, if inside inside the proton, if you grew that proton to a small grain of sand, then the Planck would actually stretch from our sun to Alpha Centauri. And it's really, for me, I'm like, how is that possible? But that's what's inside of us. It's so small on a quantum scale that it's really hard for us to fathom that. But the reason why this is so important of the vastness of this of what's inside of us is because, where is it at? Is because there it is. Yeah, there it is because the number of Plancks in one proton is holographically equal to the mass of the entire universe. Holographically. And this is why for me, I was like, when I was learning this, I was like, what? That that inside of my body, not just inside my body, inside every proton, which is inside every cell, which is inside every atom, which is inside every cell. And we're talking tons, like 10, 40 to the 10, or I can't even say that correctly. But it's so, so vast that's inside of our body that holographically in our body is equal to the mass of the entire universe. And why this is important is because this is how Jesus created miracles. Because this means that inside of our cells, we have a connection to infinite possibilities inside of us. This is why the frequency of our feelings connects to this field of infinite possibilities, which is connected to the holographically connected to the entire universe. And when we feel certain things, it's really strange because lately in this world, when I'm thinking of something and I'm going, okay, I need this certain thing in my life, and I know it's going to show up. And so I just let it go. And then all of a sudden, something happens and it shows up in a way that I couldn't even guess. And that's our power, because our power is not to try and fix things. Our power is not to try and think of how this is going to work out. The how is not our job. Our job, and this is why I pray all the time, because our job is to have the frequency of what it is that we want. So this is a really good example, and this is actually in my first 4-time award-winning book, End Dieting Hell, and I should have the copy next to me, but I don't. But what happened was I was in Alaska, and I was on a trip. It was actually a a reality TV show. This was many years ago. And the leader, he was supposed to contact this is Alaska. He was supposed to contact this husky puppy farm. And it was a husky puppy farm that trained huskies to run the Iditarod race, which was thousands of miles. And so, but he forgot. He didn't set up an appointment for us to go see the husky puppy farm. So I was like, okay, I know that everything I want, everything I desire shows up. So I'm really excited to see how we are going to be able to go to this husky puppy farm. What's going to happen for us that's going to manifest for us to go to this farm. So we get to this one event where we're supposed to go on to these what are those motorcycles, but they're not motorcycles. They got three wheels. I don't know what they're called. But anyway, they got 3 wheels. And we're supposed to go on them, but we had to wait because they weren't ready for us. So I go for a walk. And I walk and I just decide, I just chose, I'm like, I'm gonna go walk this way. And I go to this first house, and these two husky big dogs, husky dogs come running up to me. And I'm like, hey, I'm like petting them and totally happy. And the guy comes out, and I said, oh my God, we were supposed to go to the husky puppy farm, but our leader messed up and we don't have an appointment. And he says, my daughter's in charge of scheduling groups to go to the husky puppy farm, and she just went to the store and she'll be back in 10 minutes. And I was like, I just was like jumping up and down. In fact, I'll show you guys a picture of let me pull it up. I'll show you guys the picture of my husky puppy picture, because I was freaking out. And I go over to the our leader, and I tell him, and his eyes about popped out of his head. And he was like, no way, I couldn't believe it. So let me show you guys this picture. This was, I think it was 2010, but this was a husky puppy. Look at that little thing. And they wanted groups to come to these farm because they wanted people to hold the puppies so the dogs would get used to strangers. So anyway, super, super stoked. But that was my story around this frequency. And here's the thing is, we all know this. on a certain level, everybody knows that what we feel, there's some magic to it. And that's why I always say this world is not what we think it is. It's not what we think it is. I actually think that this is some type of a simulated world, and I'm actually doing a whole program in decoding the Bible, which I'll put up the video today. I have it on my Rumble channel. I'm decoding the first two chapters in Genesis, because I really think that God created two different people. Because in the first Genesis, he says, and this is a little bit off topic, but I'll bring it back around. On the first Genesis, the first chapter in Genesis, he says, let us, it goes, God created, God created, God created. And then it goes, let us make man in our image. And then it goes, he blessed them. He created he, them, and his, her, something like that. I can't remember what it exactly says, but it's the first chapter, and he blesses them in the first chapter. And what I think happened is, I think that he messed with the Neanderthals DNA, because there is a fusion of two chromosomes that could not happen naturally in our DNA. There's no way it could happen naturally. And I actually have on the video, I showed Greg Braden actually showing the chromosomes being fused, and how that there's no way that's possible to happen naturally. So he did that in chapter 1. But then in chapter 2, he forms man. So I think he messed with our DNA, messed with the DNA of the Neanderthals, because he blessed them and said they have dominion over everything. And then in the second chapter, he forms man. So I think there's two different things going on here. And then he created Eden, and he put man in Eden, which means something was outside of Eden. If he put man into a garden that he created, then there was something outside of it. And there's a whole other thing. I do a whole video on that. But my point is the fact that we do not understand this world, and we don't understand our body and the power that we have. So I wanted to share this today, because talking with Ken and Ted here about the fear I have around, I live on Big Island, and what's coming through our Hawaii general plan, it really does scare me. It is an absolute takeover of Hawaii. They want to turn most of Hawaii into conservation land or natural land, which means only preserved for nature, no people, no farming, no building. And then they're doing so many different things, and it's really scary. I've been testifying for a long time around that, and I know that my energy matters. And so that's why I do these prayers, and I keep having to remind myself, Michelle, this is a game. This life is a game. And your kuleana, your part in this, is to stay grounded and stay focused on what it is that you want, which is what I want is freedom. I want peace. I want safety for our children and safety for ourselves. I want people to be able to own private property and live a life that they love to live, not confined and all these rules and regulations. And see, right there, I just went back to what I don't want. So I want people to live freely, to be able to do what they want to do, and be happy and joyful and love each other. Because honestly, we are loving people. We're loving creatures. We have hearts. This is why the COV thing worked so well, because we love each other, and people don't want to really harm each other. And the manipulation, and I call it hypnotism, and the spell through television and media and movies that is happening, tries to get us away from what is real, which is that we really do love each other, and we all want each other. I mean, if people see somebody hurting, they help. They can't, if they can help, they help. That's who and what we are. So I'd love to get your guys' take on this. If you guys have anything you want to share to this conversation, you're welcome to bring it up. So Ted, or Ken, you're muted. Go ahead
Well,
and
thanks for that. That was quite the imagery there. This huge vastness that's inside, which is hard to. I can't even comprehend that how vast that is there, right? But the fact that that then goes down to a connection of this geometric form, which the flower of life idea in art and other forms, crop circles and other kinds of things have come up. And so obviously there's something that other people knew that we as today have no concept really of. And so this is great because um, the idea of intention going into the field and coming out of the field. Um, I'm just rereading Course in Miracles right now, actually, is what I'm doing. And they're talking about the use of your mind, right? And the discipline that's required in order to create the miracle, right? Which is this idea of atonement. And
I
so
love it too, yeah.
it's a fabulous connection there. So yeah, so thanks for that. I'm thinking about what I'm going to say next in this public hearing thing
Yeah, yeah, it's
related to this idea here, right?
yep, March 10th. I'm gonna be there in person again. And then we have to, and then what I do is I go, okay, Great Spirit, I'm gonna do this work because I always trust my heart. It's like this is how I've lived my life, and it hasn't obviously. I mean, we're all this life is not easy. It's what we came here to experience. But there is something with your intuition. There's something with your intuition because your heart was created first in your mother's womb. Your first organ was your heart, and it started beating before you were born. And your heart has 40,000 neurites. This is from Greg Braden, which is like your brain with the neurons. It can learn and remember. And your heart is connected to an intuition. Your heart talks to your brain. There's three ways of communication with your body. Your body, the cells are conscious, the cells, your brain, which is just basically running your body. And I'll tell you about your thoughts in a second. And your heart, and everything is connected. And this is why when you have trauma, and the first book I wrote is called End Dieting Hell: How to Find Peace in Your Body and Release the Weight. And it's about emotional trauma and heart walls, which I was not the one that made that up. I actually cite the person who discovered this, but all of it is connected: your heart, your brain, and your body. And that includes your gut, which is part of your body. That's your what does your gut tell you? Again, your intuition. So that's what our kuleana is to do, is to follow our guided intuition and not have fear with that. I've done things that I was afraid to do, but I was like, I have to do this. I have to do this because I know this is what I'm supposed to do. And I trust this infinite creator that is beating my heart. I'm not beating my heart. I don't know how my heart's beating. It's not plugged into the wall. I don't got batteries. Something's beating my heart. There's an intelligence. So I'm going to trust this intelligence that's running the systems in my body and having me be here on the planet right now. I'm going to trust what is mine to do. And even if it's a scary thing that looks scary, I trust it. And so that's what we're doing with the general plan. And Ken, you rocked it at the last so impressed by your testimony. And I wish we had 1,000 more like you. But we also have to trust that some magical thing is going to happen, because the magic's not magic. Magic's actually natural. It's actually a natural a thing because it's a frequency field. Anything is possible in this frequency field. We are connected to the mass of the entire universe, so anything can really happen. And Jesus knew this. He was a light being that knew what he was without any distortion or any manipulation, any hypnosis and spells that they put on us. And that's a real thing too. People just think that this dark magic is, in the movies. That stuff's real, and the powers that be know it, and they use
Mhm.
it against the people. So let's bring our white magic, which is love. Just, it's a beautiful thing to have. So thank you for that, Ken. You also said one thing about, oh, that's what I was going to share, is that the Planck, and I'll share one more time, I'll share my screen again, because this was from Nassim Haramein. I want to give credit where credit is due. Nassim Haramein discovered this. Discovered. Now, Planck is the one that discovered the Planck scale inside the cells. But Nassim Haramein is the one that discovered this is in everything. This is how we are connected to all things. So he was the physicist that discovered that we are connected to everything through this scale. Um, and I just wanted to share that because he was pretty amazing. And Ted, do you want to share anything around this?
It everything that you're discussing is keeps bringing up the lessons I went through with qigong, tai chi, and how that is, they feel that in the teachings that we're taught that all of energy is connected, that it's not separate. We discern the space between us and an object, like from me and the wall behind me, that there's space there,
Mhm.
but the energy's already there, connecting me with the wall. And there's no space. It's just I visualize the space, but there is no space. And even though the body still senses that there's space, but the energy is always moving with everything, and there is no separation. We only discern separation so that we can actually have the world that we live in, but it's all connected. And so that was what I learned when I was in my, oh boy, when I was a kid. So yeah, when now that the science has gotten to this point, it's like, oh, so that's how it looks. I've always imagined how it looks. I just didn't know exactly how accurate I was going to be, and I was nowhere near close.
Yeah,
But
yeah. It's an amazing thing. Thank you for that. So we're gonna do a quick. I don't I don't the word prayer has like it's got different feelings for different people. Like to say visualization or just a connection to the field. We're going to connect to the field because we're connected anyway. We cannot not be connected. But when we actually consciously connect and decide what we want, that makes us more powerful. That actually has us creating the life that we want. So things like the husky puppy story that I shared, that stuff happens all the time to all of us. I manifested my trip to Bali in Australia because of this work around this. So many things. It would be yeah. I actually was I'm going to write a book called God Whispers, and it's about this work, and it's so anyway so. I just want to remind everybody this is part of the inner circle. You can join it at Blossom Inner Wellness is my free private membership. It's a private membership. You get free access to my Freedom School. And then if you want to join the inner circle, you can do that as well. All right, so let's
if,
do a
if I could if I could jump in one last part,
please.
there was a study that was done on water, and I
Mhm.
don't remember the scientist's name, but water holds memory,
Yeah.
and water responds to emotions,
Mhm.
and water responds to sound. And he was able to play all kinds of music, and he showed how water crystals responded to heavy metal, how water crystals responded to a symphony orchestra, how water crystals responded to human prayer. And so all of them did not come out with squares. All the water crystals were in the shape of circles.
Yeah. Show
So, yeah,
emoto. And
yeah,
I'll
there you go.
yeah.
Yep, yep, yep. That's it. Now, even though the crystals you see are kind of pointed, when they get down to magnification, they're still in circle. I don't know if you're muted or
I'm not muted.
there you
I,
go.
can you hear the sound?
No.
Oh, I didn't put the sound on. So this is joy. All religions are
Mhm.
beautiful. And religion, that's another, that's a whole different topic. Hinduism, Islam, Buddhism. I think it goes to love. I think that religion goes back to love because that's what people want. We want to return to love and peace.
Mhm.
But this is before prayer, after prayer. Yeah. So we're gonna do a prayer slash a visualization, connection to the field. I like connection to the field. Love. Thank you. I hate you. Yeah. Words are powerful. And the thing is too, you're beautiful. What happened in Genesis? God
Mhm.
spoke, right? God spoke. And what is speaking? Speaking is vibration. So it was vibration that is powerful. And this is how I believe that the pyramids were created. I believe they were created through vibrational frequency because there's no way that people with animals and wood brought those big old stones over. It's just impossible. And I don't think the pyramids are what we think they are. I think they're actually free energy, which I'll be doing something about that as well. So lots to do. So anyway, let's do a connection to the field and bring in what we want and also what it is that anything that you want in your life, you'll have a opportunity during this connection to feel into the frequency of what you want. So just go ahead and close your eyes and drop into your present moment and feel whatever frequency you have right now in this present moment. You can put your hands on your heart. Take a deep breath. So you're connecting to your heart, the heart that connects to infinite source, infinite possibilities. And first and foremost, send yourself some compassion. The Buddha says you, more than anyone in the entire universe, deserve your love and compassion. So send yourself some compassion right now and some understanding because only you really, 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 really know what you've gone through in your lifetime. And it has not been easy. So send yourself compassion and understanding. And then when you're ready, put your hands on your lap and just relax into your spot, into your seat. And find that frequency of peace and of hope. That frequency of harmony, that this world can be a better place. What would it feel like in your body if you woke up in your life and you were excited to live your life? You loved doing what you do. You had amazing connections with people. What would it feel like if this entire planet was at peace? What would it feel like if there was no military anywhere on the planet, or if there was, that the guns and the machines just didn't work and the soldiers didn't want to shoot and kill each other, kill anything? What would it feel like if all people knew and felt that they mattered, and all children, moms and dads, uncles, aunties, all people knew that they were safe and that they were actually loved beyond measure, because we are. There is a love frequency that is beating our hearts right now, that is running billions of processes in our bodies without a to-do list on our part, without us requesting it. It's just happening for us to have a human experience in this present moment. Take a deep breath into that and notice how your lungs expand and contract. You didn't have to tell your body how to breathe. It's now normally going back to its natural rhythm, and you don't have to tell it how. It's being done for you. That's how much you're loved. The sun moves across the sky, sending warmth and light every moment of the day. If it didn't, we'd all be dead in 3 weeks. But it sends it over and over and over again, light and warmth and energy to the planet, to your body, and it never asks for anything in return. That's how much you're loved. So right now, give yourself permission to feel the frequency that this world can be a harmonious place. That the theater of war and the theater of politics, what if that was ended? What if that was dissolved into nothing? And that people wake up free, doing what they love to do that brings them so much passion in their life? And what if all people had love in their hearts for each other, forgiveness for themselves and for others, and the knowingness that we're each guided through our intuition, and we trust in that. We trust in the intuition that is connected to the field of all possibilities. We call forth the possibility of freedom, of harmony, of peace on the planet. Give yourself permission to feel that right now, that this world has that in this present moment. Peace, harmony, freedom. And that those that do not value that, they are dissolved. They are gone. They have no power. Give yourself permission to feel love, not just for this planet and for others, but most importantly for yourself. You're not perfect. You've gone through so much. And again, as the Buddha says, you, more than anyone in the entire universe, deserve your love and compassion. Take a deep breath into that. Just give yourself permission to explore what that would feel like in your body. And in a moment, when you open your eyes, give yourself permission to live into this truth that this world can be a better place of harmony, of peace, and of love for all beings. That this world is right now in this present moment at peace. We call that forth now, and so it is. So when you're ready, slowly open your eyes. Mahalo for joining me, you guys. And again, those of you watching the video, you can join the inner circle at blossominnerwellness.com and check it out. I'd love to support you and anything you're dealing with. I know we're all going through it, but that's our power. Our power is to hold that frequency. And I used to do mirror practices, which I'm going to go back to doing mirror practices. In fact, right after this, I think I'll go do a mirror practice. And what that is standing in front of the mirror and getting excited about what we are creating. For me, this mirror practice that I'll do in a moment after this is getting excited that the Hawaii general plan just goes bye-bye. It's gone. We get to watch as that unfolds, because it's going to take a miracle, and I believe in miracles and I believe in magic. So that's going to be my mirror practice, standing in front of the mirror, getting excited of hearing the fact that this general plan is gone, is done, is in the trash. And we get to watch as that unfolds. Because how would that feel? That feels so exciting, so good, right? Instead of the opposite. So all right, you guys, much love and aloha. And I'll talk with you next week, Sundays, 8:45 a.m. Hawaii Standard Time. And yeah, okay.
Could I throw two ideas out to you before you leave?
Yeah,
Uh,
let me stop the recording. Do you
no.
want this recorded, Ted, or?
Nah.
Okay, bye.